Hey, all this Ty and Meg. We are Gypsy Nurse Mentors, and you can also find us at We the Wanderers on Instagram. We are going to talk a little bit today about packing while on assignment as a travel nurse.
Yeah, when we first started travel nursing over a year ago, for our first assignment, we packed pretty much everything that we owned. We took 2 cars and they were filled to the brim with stuff, like to the point that we could not see out of our windows. So, just through trial and error and making our own mistakes, we've kind of learned what's useful and what's not while we're on assignment. So, we're going to share some packing tips with you right now. And we'll start with clothing.
Yep, so you're mainly going to want to think about activities that you do, the lifestyle you live, and then weather at that place you're going that time of the year. So if you're more, outdoors and active lifestyle, you're going to want to pack clothes that coincide with that lifestyle, and vice versa. If you're going out on the town and you live more of that lifestyle, you're going to pack clothes that have to do with that lifestyle. But main thing we found was, if it's going to be summertime, if it's a hot climate that you're going to, don't take a bunch of winter clothes, obviously. And if it's cold, bring what you need to stay warm, but probably pack a little light on the bathing suits and summer wear. Scrub wise, we pack enough to get us through the week, so 3, 4 pairs each. And then shoes, same thing with the clothes. You're going to want to pack shoes that are, more oriented towards your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. And then with the clothing, one thing that we found that we wish we would have known before we moved into the van when we were traveling from apartment to apartment was these packing cubes. We used to just kind of pile all of our clothes when we were going from assignment to assignment in the big storage tubs, and they were so bulky in our vehicles, and they just took up so much space. It was hard to keep up with while we were actually on assignment when we weren't packing for the next one. So we found these, and they fit so much clothing in just one, and you can kind of color coordinate them and base them on size, so you know exactly what you have in these little cubes.
Yeah, it really condenses the clothing down into a smaller, tighter space. And like she said, you've got the different colors. You've got Mystic Mountain Blueberry, you've got Seattle Gray. So, it's good stuff.
Those aren't the real colors. The next thing that we'll talk about is like kitchen things. This is one thing that we really overpacked with because we do cook a lot. So the first time, I think I packed every single thing, a ton of silverware, pots, pans. We just packed too much stuff. So first thing you need to look at is the place that you'll be renting furnished. If you go through Airbnb or Furnish Finders, half of the time you're not going to need a lot of pots and pans and extra things like that. If you do, I mean, everybody has their essential items. Mine was a blender, and some people like their, certain type of coffee pot, and that's okay. But, the other thing we found is if you can find things that are collapsible that'll save space while packing. We found these collapsible, what are they called?
Containers
To pack our food for the week. So these are really nice because they expand, and you can meal prep and make your food for the work week. But then if you need them to save space whenever you're packing, or just to keep them wherever you're living, they fold up really nicely. And we did the same. They have colanders that are collapsible like this. But anything that you can find that'll save space is really helpful.
Spices too. We have these little containers that are magnetic that stick to our fridge. Like, we didn't realize every little inch, especially living in a van, saves a ton. I mean, you can't say enough about it.
Yeah, so spices do take up a lot of room in cabinets. So if you can find something that's magnetic that'll stick to your fridge, that'll help a lot too. The other thing to talk about is decor. We also packed a lot of like pictures and picture albums and books. We packed a lot of that stuff to kind of sit around. And if you're a homebody and you're somebody that will be spending a lot of time in your apartment, wherever you're staying, that would be really nice. But if you are going to be out exploring the area a lot and kind of getting to know people, it's probably just going to take up space, and then it's going to be more of a hassle. You're at more of a risk for losing things every time you travel in between next assignment and trying to remember where you put all those special pictures and knickknacks. So
I think I've lost a couple of things along the way.
Yeah.
So
and then the main takeaways, like Ty said, think about the location that you're going to be in, and then kind of pack accordingly to that. If you're going to be, in a snowy town, you're not going to need a lot of summer things. And then consider the items that you use daily. If you don't use something more than 2 to 3 times a week, it's probably not essential to you. And you can always pick it up. I mean, if you feel like you don't pack something for an assignment and you really need it, or you need more clothes, you can always buy more clothes or have your family ship it to you.
Yeah.
Anything else you would add?
I guess for those who backpack, kind of treat it like a backpacking trip when you're packing your bag. Do it 2 or 3 times and, really feel it out, see what you absolutely need and what, you could do without. And, I think by the 3rd time, you'll kind of have what you need to go where you need to go.
And happy travels.